huge problem I'm seeing in our society right now and culture in general is a lack of seeking truth. I've seen this for a while, but it's become worse and worse as I've gotten older. People don't actually look for truth. It's all based on emotion. It's based on what you can sell, like a big sales pitch. And it's not always people's fault. Look at all of the information thrown to us every day through media, through news, through social media, all of these ideas and all of these things coming at us from so many different directions. People just don't know how to assess what's true or not. For example, many news headlines can just be ripped to shreds from the fact that they're just not even logical, meaning the premises don't lead to that conclusion. This is a simple way to assess truth in news and what people are saying. For example, politics. People just attack the other side. Well, an idea is true or not true, not based on who said it. The left side could say something true, the right side could say something true. Even if you're on the right and you don't like the left, it doesn't mean anything the left says is automatically wrong, right? Or the reverse. And we see this with the news stations. If you're in America, for example, Fox News versus CNN. CNN is never going to say anything good about someone who's on the other side. Fox News is probably never going to say something good about the opposite side, right? The right versus left battle. And this is just politics alone. This is happening in science, it's happening in health, it's happening in a lot of areas. People have built coherent systems, or at least what they think are coherent. For example, science. Let's hop there. A lot of people are looking at the world around them. They're looking at, we're just these scientific, mechanical beings that formed from 1 in a trillion times of whatever, right? And they're basing their whole reality off that. Well, most of that is just speculation. A lot of science is speculation. When we look back at, let's say, dinosaurs, right? We don't really know what they looked like. No one was there. It's actually a guess, and we'll actually never know unless we can go back in time. And I could go even deeper how we still may not know. But my point with all this is we've made all these assumptions around these systems. Tyrannosaurus Rex roaring. Well, what reptile roars? None of them. But we did that, and now it just seems normal and commonplace. And these are very simplistic, honestly not even important examples. But people aren't seeking truth. They're not questioning things. The left, the right, if you're on the other side, there's no way I can hear what you have to say. If you're of that belief, I can't even hear what you have to say. I'm offended. I'm hurt. I can't even hear it, right? Well, if you believe something strongly, you should be able to intellectually defend it and show why it's true or not true. And that's what we're losing right now. And it's getting scary because when anyone is just giving their opinions and ideas, it never leads to a good situation. A simple example, I can believe all day that chocolate peanut butter ice cream is going to help me lose weight. Well, the fact is it isn't. And there's certain intellectual laws, such as logic, certain scientific laws that, laws of nature that we follow. And these are just conclusions we've drawn from the world around us. And when there's no truth being sought, people just cling to whatever someone's saying. Oh, well, that doesn't feel good. It's offensive. Okay, well, maybe it's offensive to myself because I love that peanut butter chocolate ice cream. I can't eat it and think I'm going to lose weight. Oh well, my feelings are hurt, but I need to look at how I can actually lose weight. Again, these are very simplistic examples, but what's happening is with all of this misinformation, bad information, we need to be critical of it. We need to start looking at both sides. You know how you really learn to defend your own side? You look at the other side. You actually look at it and examine it if it could be true or what they are claiming is true. And then you find the holes in that system or in that belief system or in that concept. And then you can actually defend, not because you're emotionally hurt or offended, but because you actually can point out the flaws in that set of beliefs. Or maybe you'll learn something and change your view based on reality. reality is happening whether we like it or not. So we can't just sit back and kind of play this game of what makes me feel good. And it's not working. It's failing on a massive level. Globally, it's failing. And sure, there's plenty of cultures where they're just trying to survive. So this is less applicable. There's not media, there's not information. But the problem is, people are so looking just to feel good or improve their own view by watching their own side. They don't actually know what's going on. There's no counter views. And maybe if your view is too extreme, then you just get kicked off of platforms. We're losing free speech. Oh, they can't say that. It's too far. It's offensive. Well, wouldn't you want to know what the other side thinks, even if it's offensive? I mean, sure, there's very extreme cases where someone is really over the top, and I could get into those examples, but that's not really the point of all this. The point is, seek truth, seek reality, and learn. Be critical of what's going on around you, and stop just assuming what you hear on the news is true, what you hear about science is true, and definitely consider that whoever is pushing these ideas may have an agenda, right? Some are just going with what they think is normal. School is a great example. Kids in school, they're just kind of learning whatever their teacher learned. And I don't think schools and teachers are necessarily trying to be villains or something, but the way people learn nowadays, we're seeing that people learn many different ways, and the normal way of doing school is another great example of it may need some disruption, it may need to change, there may be better ways to learn, but people are just passing down something that's been passed to them. In other cases, there is misinformation. There's people, we've even seen celebrities trying to manipulate media, and they're fabricating racial attacks and things like that. How many of these things happen where they don't get caught? We don't even know. So the point is, as life is going on, as the world is moving along, it's time to be critical before we get really lost and society starts to crumble. Sounds extreme, right? But it happens. Persia, Rome, right? These empires, they never thought they were going to crumble. They thought they were so powerful it could never happen. Well, it always happens. It necessarily happens when people lose truth. They lose the idea of absolute truth and universal truths and scientific truths. And what I'm saying is we have to look at what's actually accurate and true from logic, from science, to see what's right. So I'm going to get into more examples of this. This is just kind of an idea, a concept I've been thinking about, and I'm going to share more about it. But seek truth. Question what's being thrown at you. Question your own beliefs and examine them to see if they actually line up to reality and are true, or if you're just going with the grain. Maybe you inherited your views from your parents or rebelling against your parents. Now is the time to change that. And this is how you find meaning, is through truth, not through emotion, what makes me feel good. And right, if we're all just doing whatever we want, then we're all just doing whatever we want. So a society, a group, humanity cannot function in that way in the long term. So step one, take a step back. I'm going to be showing my critical views, not to give an answer, but just to point out holes in certain types of news and information that are being handed to us. It'll be more interesting getting into specific examples, but I wanted to put this out there as an idea and a concept to start looking at reality and not just staring at a screen and believing whatever's being thrown at you, listening to a teacher and believing it all, or a political person, because it doesn't work. And whatever concept you're holding on to, if it doesn't stand up to reality, it will crumble at some point. And we have to make sure as a society we don't crumble at some point because we've given into this idea. So that's it for now. Seek truth, speak freely, listen freely, hear what others have to say, and we'll get into more details as these videos go on. Thank you.